So back to my story. I felt like Joe Dirt, man, looking for a new fucking town. Alright, let's reverse here. Let's put this back in reverse. So, okay. In order to get to Oakley, California, I had to go through San Francisco, right? So I'm in San Francisco. I'm like, okay, I'm walking around the fucking town, and the whole town is full of fucking witchcraft. Okay? Literally. When I say witchcraft, I mean, you wouldn't fucking believe it unless you saw it. Even the police station was covered in sigils. If you don't know what a sigil is, look it up. It was covered in sigils. The whole fucking town is corrupt as fuck, dude. And I'm seeing people smoking crack out at night. Like, the freaks literally come out at night. And I'm not talking bad about San Francisco. It's just, I've never seen anything like it in my life. It was fucking crazy, dude. I seriously was on, I couldn't believe what I'm seeing. I'm smelling crack in there. I'm looking at people smoking crack, fucking sniffing heroin in the middle of the street. I used to be an ex-drug addict. And I'm like, okay, well, I should probably walk away from this. Walk to the next block. People are still smoking crack, dude. So I'm thinking this shit's normal. I'm like, this shit can't be fucking normal. Well, little did I know, it was in San Francisco. So, I had to pass through San Francisco. I decided I wanted a new camera. So, I went homeless. True story. For like 5 or 6 days. And I had nowhere to stay. I decided I was going to go to the church for help. God is good. Okay? God is great. And I was truly, honestly blessed by the Catholic Church that took me in. Now, I grew up Catholic. Am I a big fan of the Catholic Church? No, not really. But they took me in anyways. Not to teach me a lesson. To show me love. And I'm realizing that now. So I get in there. And there's a bunch of fucking homeless people, obviously. I'm homeless too at the time. The only difference is I have a Cadillac.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there, and they're literally marching around the church. I'm like, wow, this is pretty neat to watch. I'm like, this is all fantastic and all. So I go in there, and they're like trying to intimidate me or something. They're like talking about like people getting murdered and shit. I'm like, psh, please, dude. I've already been there. I've seen it. I don't want to even hear about it. And then, next thing you know, dude's telling me his war stories. I don't even know what to believe anymore at this point. I don't know if dude's lying or not. Probably was. He told me, he looked like the guy off of the movie Jaws, where you see, he's like, anyways, he looked like, just like that guy, talking about the Indianapolis getting sunk. And then he told me, he's like, I seen 2 people get bit by great white sharks. That's why I don't surf. I'm like, okay, dude, whatever you say. He's telling me his war story. I'm like, yo. I'm like, whatever, dude. I don't even want to hear about war stories anymore. I've been to rehab 20 times. So, I spent 5 days in the Bay Area, which I'm not going to lie, the Bay Area it's a place that you really can't describe. The only way you can really understand, do you mind? The only way you can really understand the Bay Area is if you've ever seen the Bay Area, okay? It's the most wonderful thing, but yet it's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life, dude, honestly. Anyways, enough of that. I was homeless. It was cool, I guess. Not really. Not that fucking cool, actually. Kind of sucked. But at the same time, I got used to it. And I got used to it so quick that I think it kind of fucking scared people. Because I feel like they knew my background. And I got used to being homeless. It didn't really fucking faze me. Like, whatsoever. I don't know why. I guess I'm resilient and I'm adaptable. I can adapt to anything pretty quickly. But I really like the cold weather there was phenomenal. Phenomenal. It was fantastic cold weather. So, let's go a little bit in reverse here. When I got into LA, I never really listened to Kendrick Lamar, and I started listening to his raps. I started looking at his videos and into his eyes, and I saw this soul of a human being that I saw love in his eyes. I don't know what he would say to this if you asked him, but I could see the man he had love in his eyes, like he just did, and I love his rap. His rap is, the man is in my top 3 favorite rap, 4, 5. Okay, I'm gonna say 5 favorite rap. He's fucking phenomenal. I'm pretty sure there's people checked up on me, but I'm not gonna state that into existence because I'm not even sure about that. But I did see some things that I don't even want to talk about. So, I made it to San Francisco after all this nonsense. And in San Francisco, again, if you don't know the Bay Area, I highly recommend checking it out if you've never seen it. There's seals, fucking whales, and Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is... California is on another level of beautiful. It's like its own republic. That's why they say one republic of California. But it's really not one republic. You got a conservative side in Oakley, and then you got a real liberal side. And the great thing about California is this. You can walk into a dispensary and be like, yo, give me some marijuana. Well, you can't ask like that. You gotta ask politely and have to show an ID. So, I did, and I got to smoke the fucking finest herbs on earth, to be quite honest. And it got to the point where I'm smoking so much weed, I'm dropping nugs in my car, like fat ass nugs, whatever. It's probably not really relevant to my story. But it got to the point where I started smoking so much weed that I was buying like an eighth to a quarter a day of OG Kush because I don't really like anything but the OG's Kush. And otherwise I'd kind of get like anxiety or whatever. But yeah. But the people there in LA, people in LA, how do I feel about that? The people in LA were really fucking cool, man. Like really cool, dude. Like on a different level of like phenomenally welcoming. They were very welcoming and they were very warm people. But then San Francisco, there was so much of a diversity of drug addicts. Okay, and this is I may still be in my metamorphosis stage, whatever. I think I'm a butterfly. You can beg to differ. Actually, I know I'm a butterfly. Whatever I put after I am. I'm a fucking butterfly. I am a butterfly. Gone in the wind without a care. Kings! I'm telling my story here, Kings. Mr. Kings. So, finally make it to Oakley again. And then, it was fucking different. A conservative town in a liberal state. Weirdest shit I ever saw. But at the same time, it was kosher and it was really beautiful. And the people there were also very welcoming. But in the church, I kind of felt like this. Let me speak my mind here. I felt like, well, one, they were singling me out. At least I felt like that. So I'm sitting there in church all alone. I'm looking around I'm like, Jesus, my goodness, I don't know anybody in this church. So I stand next to this chick. I'm like, yo, can I stand next to you? She's like, yeah, of course. And then this is how they tried to lure me into the fucking church, which I thought was complete, utter, it was nonsense. It was complete nonsense, dude. And she walks away, and of course I'm standing there like, I'm just sitting there listening to the pastor throwing up freaking, I'm not even gonna say it, but I'm listening to the pastoring, and it's like they were trying to lure me in with bait by a woman. And it's what's crazy now that I'm thinking about it is in one of my dreams, they were trying to, and the Jamaicans always had my back. Well, in my dream, anyhow, and they had a bunch of tools. I remember. So it's like they were trying to lure me into this church by using women as bait. And I'm like, okay, something's off. And I could feel it. That shit was off. So always trust your gut intuition. That's what I say. Your gut is your first brain. So I'm like, I knew something's off. So I get out of there and I come back the next week. And listen, in God I trust. In God I trust. In God I trust. I'll state it 3 times. I do trust in God. E pluribus unum. Loyalty. And I'm like, okay, that was kind of weird. Everybody in the church is really super friendly and over kind of, I don't want to say overly friendly, but I don't know. Made me feel really fucking uncomfortable. But the police in Oakley, California, they were just whatever, man. They didn't give me a hard time. You know what I mean? They didn't fuck with me. Because, you know, I was kind of raised in hell in Oakley, California. Not literally, metaphorically speaking. I was drinking a lot and really confused kind of what was going on. And I was hurting inside really badly. Because I'm not going to even explain that. But I saw some things in Oakley that really amazed me. And again, there's too much politics involved right now, in my personal opinion, on the well-being of the country. Again, they're trying to put a pipeline all the way from LA. I mean, from Oakley, California to LA, and they wanted my input again, and I'm going to state this for the second time. I'm like, yo, why don't you just leave nature alone? And then my second, which would solve everything, is fucking go vegan. Because agriculture is killing everything. If you don't know about the Amazon forest burning down, well, here it is. The number one reason why it's burning down is because of agriculture, the slaughter of animals. Well, I'm going to move on from this and go back to... So, I went to Sacramento, California, a real cowboy town. I mean, when I say real cowboy town, I mean where the first Wells Fargo's bank actually resided. I went to the original Wells Fargo's bank. And I thought it was a pretty neat town, personally. I thought it was really cool. Actually, it had some really neat stuff. At the same time, the vibration was cynical. That's what I would say. It was a very cynical town. That's what it seemed to me. But I liked it. I don't know why I get pulled to this vibration. Anyways, let me explain something else. Everybody has their own agenda, and you have to, and then today, and my shout out to my mentor, he always says, know thyself. Okay, and I do. I know who I am, but it's like everybody has their own agenda. I feel like was being pushed on me. Why? I don't know. I know who I am. I know I'm a special person at heart. I know I'm a great-hearted person. I'm a loving individual. I'm a good person at heart. That's just who I am. I will stand up for what's right instead of what's wrong. So, I see a side of it. Let me be honest here. I saw a very hypocritical side to America. And what I noticed is America is very divided. How do I mean divided? You're probably wondering, well, divided by borders that aren't even there, meaning conservative and liberal borders. Now the problem with this is a house divided can never be straight, okay? So how do I mean by that? Well, you have the liberals going against the Republicans, and you have this pendulum that swings back and forth to one side to the other, when Our founding fathers knew this was it was a trap. This whole system is a fucking trap. When I say trap, I mean like a fucking spider web, dude. Like they want you trapped. And then you start watching the news and you start believing in what they're saying, but really they don't know. Listen, fuck the media, dude. That's what I have to say about that. For the most part, I've seen shit on the media I don't appreciate. Okay, this is my song. I'm singing it, and it's like they fucking want to taunt me, dude. Nobody knows about my life, and I'm not going too far into it either. But it's like the media's trying to fuck with me, dude. And I'm like, back off, dude. So that's where I had to put my mudras in place. So, know thyself, the Sadhguru of India. Fucking, excuse my language. The man is so intelligent. And you can... For me personally, I can read people. He's honest, but I can see his soul outside of his body. And today, something occurred to me. I'm not going to state it, but I realized I really have to know myself in order to understand the world, and so do you. But the Sadhguru, the man is so wonderful, and I don't know why I've always had this fascination with India. I really have. To this day, I really want to visit India. I am going to visit India one day. And it's like I can relate to their culture. I'm not really sure why, but I think I do know why, actually, because they're more spiritual. Spirituality, in my opinion, is the key to life. Now, God is great. God is good. God is a blessing at the same time. However, spirituality, in my opinion, is just as important as God. Now, when I listen to him, it calms my nerves. When I listen to the Sadhgurus, when he sings, and personally, I know what he's bringing into existence, but I can't understand what he's saying. But the tone of his voice, and you have to remember sometimes, brothers and sisters, it's all about the tone of your voice and how you speak things into existence. And the tone of this man's voice is so beautiful, and I don't want to say charming, because he's not a snake charmer, but it's believable. I actually have faith and trust in the man because he is the truth. He speaks the truth. So we are divided from the east from the west, the western world to the eastern world. And that's where the beast tricks us all out of having our own true beliefs. I'm not going to say belief systems. I want to say beliefs. And that's where know thyself comes in. So I was listening to one of his meditations, and I know they're all about yoga. Well, I'm not going to say I know this. I don't know this for a fact. But from what I heard out of the chant that he was chanting yoga into existence. Also Shiva. If you don't know who Shiva is, I'm not here to tell you. You need to look it up yourself. Now, Shiva, I am a huge admirer of Shiva. Whatever. The destroyer, and the giver to life. He destroys and he gives life. That's what Shiva is, from my perspective. So back to the Sadhguru. I admire the man just as much as I do Alan Watts. Alan Watts. Who is Alan Watts? He's a great philosopher. I really enjoy philosophy. Now, when I listen to him, I hear honesty in his voice. Back to Oakland, California. I saw a very hypocritical side to the Christian faith. I'm speaking on this topic, yes. It was hypocritical. How did it make me feel? It hurt me. It hurt me so bad to the point where I didn't want to step foot back in that church because I felt so judged and so out of place, and they tried to lure me there with women And that's what fucking really freaked me out. I'm like, what the heck? So anyways, I come back down to Florida, and there's a service here in Florida, and there's a man, don't know his name, he's a pastor, but he actually, see, I read people so well sometimes that I'm not going to say it's for my best benefit. It definitely is for my best benefit, but I read people so well it's not for their benefit, let's just say that. So yesterday morning I woke up, and I'm listening to the pastor down here in Jupiter, and he's not trying to pastor me into believing anything. He's saying things in such light terms that I could look into his eyes and see what he was saying he actually believes. And when I look into somebody's eyes and they don't believe what they're saying, in Oakley, California, that's what I saw. A pastor that did not believe a word he was saying. And that's what made me really freak out about the church. So when I came back here to Florida, in Jupiter, I felt more comfortable. And I could see the pastor had love in his eyes. The other pastor, he was on another level of, I don't even know what the word is. I'm not even trying to explain it. And I'm not here to talk down to anybody. He was a young guy. And he was a little rebellious. And I don't know. It was just hypocritical to me, truthfully. But when I came back down here to Jupiter, I went back to my high school, and I saw the love in the pastor's eyes. He actually really cared about the people. I'm not saying the guy in Oakley didn't care about the people. He just directed all his attention towards me. And how did that make me feel? Super uncomfortable. Super uncomfortable. Now, something did happen in church down here. I'm going to speak this out. Where he said, if you come back, I'll subscribe to your YouTube channel. One of the men said that. I looked at him like, okay, dude, you obviously don't know me very well. I don't care if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't care. I'm not doing this for the likes. I'm doing it for the love. And that's where the pastor came in. And he doesn't do it for the likes. He does it for the love. That's what I saw in my eyes. It seemed like he didn't. The pastor down here, he does it for the love. He's not doing it for the likes. He doesn't care if you're part of the church. Now, I'm not really here to speak down on anybody, but the pastor in the other church, he's like, we're losing people by the day in the Christian church. I'm like sitting there like, no wonder you're sitting here speaking it into existence. You keep saying you're losing people by the day. Well, you're going to lose people by the day. That's how it works. You speak things into existence. So, do I trust in God? Absolutely. 100%. E pluribus unum. Loyalty. In God we trust. God I trust. But when I hear somebody trying to basically corner me into a room into believing something that's hypocritical, I'm not going to have faith in it. How am I supposed to have faith in something when the man's being a hypocrite? And I can tell he doesn't believe in what he's saying. Anyhow, I got back down to Florida again after I flew here and I had to fly back and get my car, and I was like, God, why do I have to go through this? God is good. God is love. God is love. That's all I have to say about that. You can perceive it in any way you want. I perceive it my way. God is love. God is gracious. That's just who he is to me. And so then I get back. I have to get my car. I'm like, well, this is going to be a joyride back to Florida. Well, it was a joyride. Let me tell you. I had to stop. I got a night. I think I drove like 4 hours when I got there. And I got a hotel room. And he's in here.
Oh, he is? Okay, I'm going to go now. Are you talking to?
Myself.
Are you? Sorry.
So, I start crossing the country, and little do I know what comes next. I get to Arizona and I get a hotel and I'm just chilling and I drink and I go to sleep and I wake up at 1 o'clock and I jump out of bed and I'm like, yes, I'm ready to roll out this bitch. And then I'm in another fucking godly place, dude. So this is where the paradox come in with God. If they say God is love, well then tell me this. How come I'm passing through this godly state and they're taxing people? When I say taxing people, if you look back to my video, they fucking they tried to throw me in jail, tried to tell me I'm a fucking domestic terrorist. What the fuck? No. I love America. This is my home. That's fucking crazy. It's absurd. And then they're coming in and they're trying to pass for me as well. So I get out and I go to the impound and it's a Sunday morning and I'm getting a hard time from the cops and I'm speaking to this stupid ass cop on the phone. He's one dumb motherfucker because he had no idea what he was talking about. Piece of shit. And I had some time to kill and all I saw was a bunch of crazy white people, man. So I went to Walmart and that's where I saw actually some pretty decent people. Even the hospital, man, it was so hypocritical. I couldn't believe what the fuck I saw with my eyes. It spooks me out. I'll never go back to that fucking you know what? I pray to God that they feel the pain that I went through that day. That morning, actually, it was 1 o'clock in the morning when I got stopped. And then they now they're telling, okay, first I blew a .96, and I know my laws, and I know my rights. And this is just a brief history of it, if this even makes it to YouTube. They take me down to the station, sit me down, make me blow again into this machine twice, and I look at him. I said, when was the last time this machine was calibrated? And he says, every month this gets calibrated. I'm like, by who? And he didn't have an answer for that. And then that's when they tried to tell me they're going to charge me with domestic terrorism. I'm like, what the fuck? For what reason? Because I'm pretty damn sure I had the coronavirus at this point in time. I was going back to it. I'm not even sure what's real anymore, dude. Hey. So, I wake up, and this is how you know the church can be so fucking hypocritical. And this is what really disgusted me. So, why are you going to put out money baskets? Listen, I've seen some shit in my life, dude. I've never seen anything like a fucking white supremacist little fucking town like this town. And that shit fucking scared me, dude, because I forgot that I look Spanish. I can pass for Arabic too. Well, I am Arabic, actually. I'm Israelite. I'm Israeli. And I did not know that until I got my DNA tested. Anyway, so they literally tested my DNA in this state to find out what I was. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. I'm like, what the fuck is this? They all had blonde hair and blue eyes. I'm like, these are fucking Nazi Germany people, dude. And I'm in the hotel, and I see this guy. I'm like, yo, what's up, brother? He's like, he seemed cool as fuck. You know, he was Israelite too. And I felt comfortable next to this guy. All he did was smoke herbs. He was cool as fuck. So I called this guy up, right? And they tried to entrap me in their town. Yes, true story. They tried to entrap me in this fucking town of hell, dude. Fuck Arizona, especially Phoenix. You guys are going to pay for what you did to the immigrants. And you guys are going to pay for what you did to all the people that you've screwed over. Because everybody gets to hear my voice. So this motherfucker, Kenny, first of all, he tells me his name is Tony. Because he's trying to act like a fucking mobster when he ain't really shit except for a fucking pot dealer. And he's sitting there. This is hypocritical as fuck, dude. And I'm like looking on the wall and there's bales of fucking weed. I'm like, these are bales of pot, right? He's like, yeah. So the man owns a towing company. First of all, he didn't tow my car. He drove my car 3 miles away. Makes me pay $250 fucking dollars for it. To get it out of the impound on a Sunday, and he's acting like he's doing me a fucking favor, dude, when really he's just making money off me, $250 fucking dollars. So I felt uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of this state, dude. So I left Dodge, and as soon as I reached Texas, oh my God, I felt I've actually felt love in my heart again, dude, because Texas is the Lone Star State, and Texas does not play games like that. And I was talking to somebody from Texas and Arizona, and they're like, dude, once you reach Texas, you'll be okay. I was like, thank God. And I did. I reached Texas, and I went right into El Paso, and I chilled out in El Paso for a night, and I felt like the most loving feeling in my heart from this state, because I'm not here to tell you everything. You're gonna have to read my book for this. But they helped me through the state. How do I mean? Well, just trust me when I tell you this. They helped me through the state, and I was surrounded by Texans, and they were really some really great people. So then, man, Texas. I got to meet a teacher in Texas who literally just got acquitted from his job. I don't want to say fired, because he was acquitted, probably just like most of you were. And I had the privilege, yes, I say privilege, because the man, he used to teach welding, and that was the one thing I wanted to learn was welding. That's the only trade I really would want to learn, because I don't know, for some reason I would like to weld stuff, especially underwater, because I think it's cool to light fire underwater, because I'm an Aries baby, I don't know, maybe I suppose that's why. And I got to speak with him, and we were on the same frequency, and the man, I mean, there's always an age gap, but the dude was 60-something years old, and he was on my frequency. It's like he could understand everything we said, and we spoke for a good 4 hours, and he made me feel so comforted, and he said, God, gold, and guns. I was like, dude, that's my new motto, man. I was like, God, gold, and guns. I fucking dig that. He was so cool, man. I'll never forget this guy. As a matter of fact, I owe him a phone call. I don't owe anybody anything, but he deserves a phone call, because he enriched my life with well, one, he was a teacher, and I consider myself a teacher. He just spoke about things that nourished my soul, because after going through Phoenix, I felt like they tried to take God out of my life. How'd they do it? Through money. Because money can be the root of all evil sometimes. It says in the Bible, it says the love for money can be the root of all evil. So that's the hypocritical side of the Christians. But then when I went into Texas, I met a real Christian, I felt like. And then down here in Florida, we got some really cool Christians here too. And I love the Christian church. But when he said God, gold, and guns, I'm like, wow, I can relate to that. Cool, man. I dig that. But he also didn't just say that. He also showed me love from an elderly perspective, just like Marcus did in Oakley, California. Even though I felt like, and Abi was the man, dude. Abi was on the Nigerian man I'm speaking of, he was on a whole nother level of love. Like, this man had so much love in his heart. Like, he saw me hurting myself because I was in a lot of pain up there. Why? I was just hurting inside. And Abi, if you ever hear this, my brother, I freaking appreciate you so much for what you did. This man really showed me some love. And I watched how he moved, and to this day, now I know who I am. And I have to give my thanks and praises to Abi. He really showed me compassion, especially when I was hurting so bad inside. And back to Texas. The man in Texas, he nourished my soul with food for thought. And we spoke for 4 hours. I'm not even going to get to what we spoke about, but we spoke about some real things, some real topics. If you don't know the Lone Star State, well, I highly recommend checking it out. because those people they'll go out of their way to help you, man. They're actually, what's the word? Quite the opposite of Phoenix. They are integrated, is the word. Integrated as a society. We are privileged to be a melting pot. That's why that's what makes America so wonderful. Because we are privileged, whether you like it or not, to be a melting pot. This is what makes America strong. Very strong. But then I saw the weakness in one part of the journey cross country, and again, that takes it back to Phoenix, Arizona. It was such a sick, disgusting place. The people were wonderful, but the cops were out to get people. And that shit made me, honestly, it almost made me want to turn my back on the whole Christian faith because of them. Yes, I said it. I almost turned my back on the Christian faith because of what I went through in Phoenix, Arizona. It hurt me so bad inside. It almost melted me down. Like, it's like they wanted me to turn my back against God, but I didn't. I held my faith, but then my faith grew back when I met the man in Texas. Anyhow, I rode back through Texas and stopped in Mississippi. Texas is one large state. If you don't know it, drive through it. You'll find out yourself. And I stopped in Mississippi, and so then the blue-eyed people freak me out sometimes. I'm not going to deny it, dude. And I meet this blue-eyed girl and woman, and she was cool as fuck, dude. And it restored my faith in the people with blue eyes. Honestly, it did. And she's so cool, even though she's a little out. She's just, I don't know, she's like me, I guess. She's just on another level of undisputed. Say that. But dude, this girl makes me laugh every time I talk to her, and she makes me smile every time she texts me too. She's cool as fuck, dude. She restored my faith in the blue-eyed people. Blue-eyed people, I say that. It sounds weird, right? But yeah, man, I don't know. It's not that I'm scared of blue-eyed people. I'm not scared of them. It's just some of them just make. Well, I grew up with a dad with blue eyes, dude, and he was a real piece of shit towards me, which really made me undisputably it raised my concerns against people with blue eyes and their true intentions, because I don't know. I'm not even getting into the whole blue-eyed concept because I don't know about it. I just don't get it. I don't understand why people have blue eyes. I do, but I don't. Ask God. Only God knows. So I met her, and she really raised the vibrations. Like, as soon as I saw her, I sat down next to her, and I'm like, yo, what's up, dude? She's like, you want a beer? I'm like, fucking right, I do. But first, I need a shower. So I hopped in the shower. Oh, yeah, and by the way, if you don't know, if crossing the country, if you're a vegan, best of luck to you. The only thing you can eat is a vegan Subway. Subway sub. That shit was fucked up, man. And all they have is fucking, I can actually see it dude. Arby's, fucking, I don't know, bunch of nasty fucking meat places. It's like a meat factory across the country. Except for Subway. If you want a good, it's not, I wouldn't even say it's a blessed sub, dude. It's a sloppy fucking, it's a sloppy vegetarian sub, man. Whatever. I made it past all that shit. Finally got back to Florida. And you know what? Oh, wait. I'm not skipping other states. Hold on. We got more to talk about here on another day. More from Joe Dirt's Joe Dirt story. Joe Dirte story. But that's enough for now. I'm done. But yo, that's not even a pinch of my journey. That's like I'm throwing 2% at you right now. I hope you enjoy it if you get to hear it, if this even makes it to wherever it's supposed to go. But yo, watch out for the purple people eaters. I'm not even playing, dude. Phoenix, Arizona. I really hope you police pay for what the fuck you've done to society. and to the people you fucked over there. Actually, I pray to God you do. And may peace be with you and also with you, my children.